Hello and welcome to Let's Talk SEO. So it appears that Google is having indexing issues again. Yes, this is the second time this year that Google is having indexing issues, but it's the first time this year that Google has actually acknowledged that it's having indexing issues. So starting somewhere in the morning, I think it was starting at 4:42 Eastern Standard Time, people have begun to notice that a lot of their news was not being indexed. So usually Google indexes news first and it gets first priority, but a lot of the large news sites and a lot of the smaller ones were noticing that Google was not indexing their news. And with news, if it's not indexed, it's not going to show in Google News, it's not going to go show in Google Search. And so there was a lot of concern and there was a lot of buzz about this. Finally, at around 6 Eastern Standard Time, Google kind of acknowledged that there is a problem with indexing and that they're looking into it. Then at around 10, 12 Eastern Standard Time, Google said, we're still trying to fix the issue. We're trying to identify the issue, but don't worry, the issue is only with a small number of sites. And that is why I have the problem. Now, this issue is not with a small number of sites. It's actually with a very large number of sites because just about every site that I'm working with has not been indexed. Two of the new sites that I'm working with have not been indexed. So I can tell that because I can access the Google Search Console and I can see whether or not the pages are indexed. I can also search and I can see that they're not showing up in search. So obviously there is a problem with Search Console. As I'm making this video right now, there is still a problem with Google indexing websites. So the question is, why does Google have this problem indexing websites? Is it a bug? Is it a feature? What is it? Well, Google search liaison Danny Sullivan said, yes, there is an indexing issue. There is a problem with Google indexing some sites, and we've alerted the Google engineers, and they're looking into it. But the problem seems to be bigger than what Google acknowledges. There are a lot more sites being affected by this. If you go to Google News and you search for news, you search for sports news, search for martial arts news, search for whatever news you search for, you will see that a lot of news is now old. And the reason for that is a lot of the new news has not been indexed. And this is largely a problem because Google segments its indexing. And so the news indexer is separate from the regular indexer, and the regular indexer is separate from the e-commerce indexer. And there are separate algorithms behind it. I talked about it and did this in a previous video. But with the news indexer, it's now being bombarded by a lot of AI news. And so there are people with websites that are literally generating news on the fly using artificial intelligence. And they're doing it en masse. So they're generating 400 or 500 pages a week using AI, auto generation, and Google can't figure out what the heck is going on. Google does not have the capacity to deal with the volume of the news generated by these websites and at the pace at which it's generated. And usually this news is being pulled from other websites and being quickly auto-generated. So as soon as something is posted on the New York Times, the AI writer or the AI generator quickly pulls that news, and 4 seconds later it's on X site, it's on Y site, it's on Z site. And it's a quick way to make a lot of money and just targeting news stories. And there's some sites that just do AI content, and this is how they do this AI content. And so it's done at volume, and Google doesn't want to acknowledge this because Google kind of says AI content is fine as long as it's original, as long as it's helpful, blah blah. But what if it's news? What then? What happens then? And this is happening a lot. So this is one reason why we're having indexing issues. And I think we're going to be having a lot more indexing issues moving forward. Let me know if your website has had a problem getting indexed by Google, and what your thoughts are on Google's chronic indexing issues. Like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.